Coach, talk about your scrimmage before we get to Friday night. Now you play into the lights for real, and you mentioned to me a little bit ago some things to shore up.
We went out, and the first thing I was looking for just to see us play physical, play fast. When we knew our assignments, they did play that way, but that's the main thing I noticed is that we oftentimes they came out in a defense we hadn't practiced against, so our line wasn't communicating. We had a bunch of missed assignments there, and when you don't have a missed assignment, when you have a missed assignment, sometimes you play tentative. And so we're trying to get rid of some of those kinks and stuff. But overall, I'd say it went very well. We got a really good look at some young guys that we wanted to see play, and we came out healthy, which is the main thing.
And a scrimmage is a scrimmage. I mean, let me ask you that, just from that standpoint, would you rather play a scrimmage where you kind of play a full game where it feels more, or do you like the way it is set up right now?
I actually kind of like the way it's set up, and honestly, a coach could go in there and try to score 15, 20 touchdowns if he wants. I think myself and Jimmy, who from Eastern Hancock, who we scrimmages, we're more about making sure, like my starters got less reps than my twos. I want to give those kids a true look because they don't get as much of a look over the summer during your installs. So I want to see who can play at varsity game speed during that scrimmage. And honestly, I know a lot of coaches think we don't need the scrimmage because of the 12 days we get over the summer and the 5 competition days. But once again, during those days, I give my ones more reps. So I actually kind of like the scrimmage. A, it's a good time to practice your pregame and your stretching and all that stuff. And then B, I get a really good look at all those young guys in a varsity environment and see how they play.
Coach, you have a lot of key players back from last year that are going to be an integral part. With them playing last year in the system and your language and everything else that you put around your offense and defense, do they feel more comfortable this time around?
I think they do. They're definitely more confident, and they're maturing as far as football goes. And I know before we even started, I was mentioning to you some of the things that I wanted to see improvement on. And a lot of our juniors and seniors, we're seeing that next step to where they're playing disciplined, they're getting their reads, they're getting their keys, and they kind of know the ins and outs of what we're trying to do. Some of our young guys who we're relying on heavily, we're literally looking for them to take that next step and stop playing with that junior high, we're out here just playing football mentality, and step up and really play a mature brand of football and a disciplined brand of football that we're trying to do here at Centerville.
How hard is that? And I imagine it's a little bit frustrating, but again, they're young guys, and so is it a hard thing to get them to make that next step?
Well, it is hard because first you got to get them to do it in practice, and that takes 1,000 reps. And once you get them to do it in practice, well, then you know it's not going to just translate in a game, because in a game, we always overemphasize everything in practice to hope that we do it right in a game. And they are young, and they are going to revert back to those, just bad habits sometimes. So once again, it's just going to take reps and film and maturation, and we're going to get them there. And they're coming. A lot of them have come a long way. We're going to have a lot of sophomores on the field this year, and those are the guys that they've come a long way. And I can't wait to see how they mature throughout the season.
The other side we don't talk too much about is that the veterans who have to also deal with the mistakes that the younger players are making, they have to help them come along too.
Well, and that's one thing I've been trying to get across to our seniors and our captains. It's good to hear another voice besides mine and the other coaches. And they're on the field, they're the ones that are leading it. So, and it doesn't mean you have to do it in a negative manner. Positive reinforcement can work too. So we're just trying to get that communication across during a play, in the game, and basically communicating our game plan. They got to be coaches on the field for us.
Coach, you watch a little film tonight, and then you go back to work and talk about some of the things you'll really emphasize. And we'll get to Delta here in a moment. I mean, what a tough opener. We'll get to that. But some of the things you're really going to focus on this week.
Defensively, I'm really happy with where our D-line is. But our linebackers and our defensive backs have got to start getting their reads and their keys, their run-pass reads, and just playing faster. They got to play fast. They got to play downhill, and they got to be confident in what they're doing. And like I mentioned, we've been playing tentative because I think they're worried about getting beat all the time. And our linebackers, you would have thought that if you watch film, you would have thought Eastern Hancock passed every play because they're backing up. On a run play, we got to get our downhill read steps, little things like that. Offensively, I'm really happy with where our ones are. But they can't be on the field the whole game. We got 7 guys to go 2 ways. So we got to get some guys that know what they're doing, know their assignments, and can be able to get in there and give these guys a break. So that's going to be the emphasis this week.
Coach, I tell you what an opener, though. I mean, you go to Delta, when you look at that and you're thinking, man, what a step up that's going to be. That's a tough opener for you guys.
It is. And honestly, I'm just really happy and glad that, Coach Overholt scheduled us. And when we had this week 1 come open, when we lost the Monroe Central game, I did not want to go just get any game where we could get an easy win. We've been setting the expectations higher here, and I want to go out and challenge the best team we can, within reason. And Delta happened to have week 1 open, and I jumped on it right away. I went and ran into our AD and said, we got to get Delta. Please get Delta. He called them, and they took us, and I'm very glad, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good measuring stick for our boys. And I can tell them, hey, boys, it's only easier from here.